Welcome back to another section of my online Popia awareness training. So this is part of my Popia DIY kit where I've included all the policies and procedures that you can ever need, an assessment that you can do on your Popia compliance, as well as this training, the slides, as well as the manual. Okay. So now I'm on to section 22 of the Popia. So still proceeding with the aspect of data compromise, okay? So where there are reasonable grounds to believe that the personal information of a data subject has been accessed or acquired by an unauthorized person, the responsible party must notify the regulator and must notify the data subjects, okay, unless the identity of such data subjects cannot be established. So I'll go back to my previous examples that I did. So I did the scam case, and I did the ABSA case, and I also did the IEC case, okay? So looking at the most recent one that I did, which is the IEC case, the IEC informed the information regulator. However, there was some elements that were lacking from the notification that they forwarded to the regulator. Okay. And then the data subjects as well, the IEC had not informed the data subjects, like, or rather, maybe they had, but they did not provide proof to the regulator. Okay. So just to reiterate, whenever a responsible party, which is the organization or the business or the entity that is processing personal information, whenever they believe that data has been accessed, they need to inform the regulator and they need to inform the data subject as well. Okay. So one way of informing the regulator, there's forms available on the regulator's website that can be completed, and then informing data subject, communicating to them if you have their cell phone numbers, and also making a notification available on your website as the responsible party. Okay, and then here are the steps of managing a notification. Okay, prompt identification. So as soon as the data breach is discovered, promptly identify the nature and the scope of the incident. So for example, with the scam one, there was 3 million data subjects' personal information that was accessed. And then you gather the information. So you would collect the relevant information about the breach, including the data that was involved. So it could be that the names and surnames of the data subjects have been accessed, or their banking details, or their addresses. So you would gather the information of what information has actually been accessed. And then you would contact the information regulator because you've gathered all your information, and notify them saying, Mr. Regulator, I have suffered a data breach or a security compromise or a data compromise, and this is the information that has been accessed. And here's proof that I've published this on my website. Here's proof that I've actually informed the data subject of what information of theirs has been accessed and what security measures they need to take in order to protect themselves from the adverse effects of the security compromise, and assessment of the harm, and then ongoing communication. So contacting the regulator also needs to include saying what we have put in place to ensure that such a breach does not occur again in future. Maybe it could be that I've updated my security systems, I've updated my access to the personal files of the employees. Now they stay in the secured cupboards. Before, the cupboard was not being locked and the key put away in a secure place. But as a result of this data compromise, I've made sure that no unauthorized personnel can access the office where the personal files are kept, and I make sure that they're kept in a locked cabinet and that the key is not readily available to everybody else. So I'm just making examples as I go along, and then you would make ongoing communication with the regulator. Okay, so I did mention that you need to notify the data subject. So just to reiterate, the data subjects are the people whose personal information that you are processing. So say, for example, I am a customer to Worldwide Bank, okay? So I am the data subject, Worldwide Bank is the responsible party, and the teller would be the operator, the person that is actually processing my personal information. So you will prepare a notification message. So you craft a clear, concise notification message to inform the affected data subjects about the breach. So the ABSA one is my favorite to date. You know, it's very concise, straight to the point. It's the one that was issued in November 2020. And then delivery method, determine the most appropriate method for delivering the notification: email, post, website announcement. So ABSA, they did a website announcement as well as sending us SMSs as data subjects, and then timely delivery. So you need to notify them promptly. With an example of the bank, you need to notify us promptly, say maybe consider changing your passwords. When somebody calls you asking for this and this and that, do not give them this and this and that. Because remember, you also need to inform the data subjects of what measures to take in order to protect themselves as a result of this breach. And then you offer guidance. So you offer guidance to the affected individuals. So for example, if it's a bank and our personal information has been accessed, so you can say maybe protect your accounts, use secure passwords, do not give anyone personal information who phones you over the phone, do not give anyone your OTP, the bank will never call you asking for X, Y, and Z, and then include personal information. So you can include personal information, say, if you have any concerns regarding this data breach, contact so-and-so, email so-and-so, and then you make sure that you comply with the regulatory requirements, because the regulatory can communicate additional requirements to you, like they did in the case of the IEC data breach, to say, okay, we see that you suffered a data compromise. Thank you for informing us. Please provide proof that you've published this on your website. Please provide proof that you've communicated to the data subjects, etc., etc. Okay. So making a notification, you need to know what to disclose to data subjects. You must describe the possible consequences of the breach, okay, and then provide sufficient information to enable the data subject to protect themselves. So with an example of the bank saying, okay, your account number has been accessed, this has been accessed. So make sure that never give away your personal information, never give away your OTP when somebody calls you over the phone. And then what happens if it is a small or significant breach? And then the operator must notify the responsible party immediately. So an operator being the person that is actually processing the personal information on behalf of the responsible party. So let's say it's an employee. So the employee of Shuguma Enterprises can inform Shuguma Enterprises to say, I went into the personal information files and I saw that the cupboard was broken into and some of the files were missing. Okay, so this would be the operator informing the responsible party as soon as possible. Okay, so here are the forms. So the forms are fillable and they are available on the regulator website. So there's the form that you would click. So, and then you would actually make your notification to the information regulator. Okay, I need to stop my recording.